The Power of Words, Lily's Path to Confidence. Lily Bennett had always been a shy and introverted girl. Growing up in a quiet neighborhood in the countryside, she often found solace in books. Her love for reading opened up a world of possibilities, one that was filled with exciting adventures, beautiful places, and cultures she had never seen. However, there was one thing that kept her from fully embracing the world outside her home: her struggle with speaking English. Despite excelling in reading, writing, and understanding English, Lily could never shake the fear of speaking the language out loud. She had always been terrified of making mistakes, worried that her accent would sound strange, or that people might laugh at her. As a result, she avoided conversations and any opportunity to speak English, even though it was the language of most of the books and movies she loved. Her dream, though, was to travel the world. She wanted to explore cities, learn about different cultures, and meet people from all walks of life. But she knew that speaking English fluently was a huge part of that dream. Every time she thought about her future, she felt frustrated and disheartened. She had the knowledge but lacked the confidence to use it. One evening, as she sat in her room, scrolling through social media, Lily came across an advertisement for a volunteer program abroad. The program was focused on environmental sustainability and offered participants the chance to work in different countries around the world. But there was one requirement: proficiency in English. Lily's heart sank. She had always wanted to volunteer, to make a difference, but now she saw a new obstacle. "I can't do this," she thought. "I don't speak well enough." But then, something inside her stirred. She thought about the books she had read, the places she had imagined, and the people she longed to meet. For the first time, she realized something important: this was her opportunity to conquer her fear. This was her chance to face her insecurities and grow into the person she had always wanted to be. Lily took a deep breath and clicked the apply button. The first step. The days that followed were a whirlwind. Lily submitted her application, and a few weeks later, she received an email confirming her acceptance into the program. Her heart raced with excitement and fear. This was it. She was going to volunteer in another country, and she was going to do it in English. Lily knew that she needed to start practicing her speaking skills if she wanted to succeed. She set a goal for herself: she would speak in English every day, no matter how small the conversation was. The first few attempts were nerve-wracking. Her hands would tremble, and her throat would tighten every time she tried to speak. One evening, she decided to talk to her mirror. "Okay, Lily, you can do this," she said to herself, her voice shaking. She picked a topic she loved, nature, and began explaining how important it was to take care of the planet. She stumbled over a few words, but she didn't stop. For the first time, she allowed herself to make mistakes. And when she was done, she felt a sense of pride. The next day, Lily called her best friend, Emma, and told her about the program. To her surprise, Emma was incredibly supportive. "I'm so proud of you, Lily. Don't worry about your English. You'll get better as you go. Just keep practicing, and you'll be amazed at how much progress you'll make." The encouragement from Emma was exactly what Lily needed. It gave her the motivation to keep going, even when the fear of speaking seemed overwhelming. She knew that the only way to overcome her fear was to face it head-on. The first challenge. A month later, Lily arrived in the small town of Valdivia, Chile, where she would be volunteering. She was greeted by her host family, a kind couple named Sophia and Ricardo, who spoke only English. Despite their warm welcome, Lily felt a wave of anxiety. This was it: she had to speak English every day, all the time. At first, the conversations were short and awkward. Sophia and Ricardo were patient, but Lily could feel the weight of her insecurity every time she struggled to find the right words. She was frustrated with herself. "Why can't I just speak easily like everyone else?" But one afternoon, after a long day of work at the local environmental project, Sophia sat down next to Lily. She smiled and said, "Lily, I know you're nervous about speaking, but remember, you're here to learn. Mistakes are part of that process. You don't need to be perfect. Lily looked at Sophia, surprised by her kindness. But I make so many mistakes, she said. I feel like I'm not improving. Sophia nodded. Improvement takes time. Don't be afraid of mistakes. They're how we grow. Trust me, you're already better than you think. Those words resonated with Lily. She realized that Sophia wasn't just teaching her English, she was teaching her how to embrace the process of learning, no matter how difficult it seemed. Breaking through. As the weeks went by, Lily found herself becoming more comfortable with the language. She started speaking more confidently with her host family and the other volunteers. There were still moments when she felt unsure of herself, but each time, she reminded herself of Sophia's words. Mistakes are part of the process. One day, while working in the community garden, Lily was asked to explain a planting technique to a group of local children. She felt her heart race. She had never spoken to so many people in English before, especially not children. But she took a deep breath and began speaking. Okay, so we plant the seeds like this, she said, her voice steady but nervous. She stumbled over a word, but she quickly corrected herself. Sorry, I meant to say, put the seed in the soil like this. The children smiled and nodded, and Lily could see they understood her. For the first time, she felt proud of her ability to communicate in English, even if it wasn't perfect. That evening, when she told Sophia about her experience, Sophia smiled proudly. See? You did it. You didn't give up, and that's what matters. From that moment on, Lily began to feel more confident. She still made mistakes, of course, but they no longer felt like barriers. Instead, they felt like stepping stones toward becoming the fluent speaker she had always wanted to be. The final test. The real test of Lily's progress came a few weeks later, when the volunteers were invited to present their findings on the environmental projects they had been working on. Lily was nervous. She had to speak in front of a large group, including local officials, community leaders, and volunteers from other countries. She had been practicing her presentation for days, but the fear of speaking in public still loomed large. When it was her turn, Lily stood up, her hands shaking. She could feel the weight of the audience's eyes on her. But she remembered everything she had learned about embracing mistakes, about taking risks, about believing in herself. She took a deep breath and began, Hello, everyone. My name is Lily, and I'm here to talk about our environmental project. We've been working to reduce waste in the community by educating people about recycling. I'll start by telling you about the challenges we faced. At first, her voice was shaky, but as she continued, she found her rhythm. She made a few mistakes along the way, but she didn't let them stop her. She kept going, her confidence growing with each word. When she finished, the audience applauded, and Lily felt a surge of pride. She had done it. A new beginning. Lily's experience in Chile had changed her in ways she could never have imagined. She had gone from a shy, insecure girl who feared speaking English to a confident young woman who had learned to embrace the process of learning, mistakes and all. When she returned home, Lily felt a sense of accomplishment. She had done something she never thought was possible. She had faced her fear of speaking English and conquered it. The dream of traveling the world and communicating with people from different cultures was now within reach. Her next goal was clear: she would continue learning, continue improving, and continue speaking. She knew that the path to fluency was a long one, but with every conversation, every mistake, and every success, she was one step closer to her dreams. Lily's story is a reminder that confidence is not something that comes overnight. It is built slowly, through persistence, courage, and the willingness to face fears head-on. By embracing the power of words, Lily had unlocked a new world, one where anything was possible.